Welcome, history viewers. Today we witness the most terrifying siege of the ancient world. Behold, a massive stone fortress piercing the sky. No mortal army could breach the walls of Jericho. Yet Israel brought no heavy siege engines. They brought only pure silence and the golden ark of God. For 6 long days, thousands of desert warriors marched around the dark stronghold without speaking a word. Was this a foolish, tragic mission, or a fatal masterstroke of dark warfare? Let us uncover the truth. Our journey begins in the late Bronze Age. The great prophet Moses has closed his tired eyes forever. A harsh generation of former slaves now rests in the cruel and unforgiving desert dust. From the scattered ashes of their painful past, a fierce new breed of hardened warriors now rises. Leading them is Commander Joshua. He is a fierce man, forged by endless battle and deep faith. With a heavy heart, Joshua leads his massive army across the raging Jordan River. They step onto the ancient Promised Land of Canaan, ready to claim what is rightfully theirs to take. But a dark shadow falls over their glorious path. A giant obstacle blocks their mighty advance. Rising from the dry and dusty earth is Jericho, an unconquerable fortress of pure stone. Its massive double walls stretch high into the clouds, casting a shadow of death upon the valley. The lower foundations are carved from solid rock, perfectly designed to crush any human assault. Above the stone, thick mud brick towers stand very tall, filled with heavily armed Canaanite soldiers. The Israelite forces halt in the burning sand. They stare up at the giant walls in utter disbelief. These desert nomads possess only simple bronze spears, leather shields, and worn-out, ragged winter cloaks. They have no wooden ladders, no battering rams, and absolutely no experience in siege war. Facing such a monstrous defensive structure, an ordinary army would quickly turn back in fear. Despair begins to whisper through the tired ranks. The scorching sun beats down on their sweaty armor. Yet Joshua stands perfectly still in the heat. His piercing, dark eyes study the giant stone walls. He grips the hilt of his curved, very heavy sword, refusing to show a trace of human weakness. The massive bronze-plated gates of Jericho are violently slammed shut and locked from the inside. No one is allowed to leave the frightened ancient city, and no one is permitted to enter. Enemy archers line the parapets above, drawing their deadly bows with arrogant, cold smiles. They look down upon the filthy desert warriors, waiting eagerly to rain down a storm of darts. The Canaanite commander mocks the silent foes. He believes his giant walls will never fall down. He expects a foolish frontal charge that will soon leave thousands of broken soldiers in the dry dust. But Joshua does not order a violent strike. He turns to his men with a very different plan. It is a military tactic so bizarre that it defies all logic of ancient history. If you stood before these impossible giant walls, would you surrender or fight to the bitter end? The divine command is given to the army. There will be no glorious battle cries today. Instead, the holiest men of Israel step forth. The priests wear pure white linen robes in the dirt. They carefully lift the golden ark of the covenant, resting heavy wooden poles on their shoulders. This glowing artifact represents the terrifying presence of their almighty God on the field. 7 chosen priests march proudly before the sacred ark, tightly gripping twisted ram horn trumpets. Behind them, the fully armed vanguard steps into line, followed by the massive rear guard of the host. Joshua issues his absolute final warning. No man is permitted to speak a single word. Their lips must remain sealed shut for the entire march. Not even a whisper of fear is allowed. The silent march around the doomed city begins. Thousands of boots strike the very dry, ancient earth. The stomping echoes through the empty valley, sending chilling vibrations up the giant stone walls. Up on the towers, the defending guards lower their bows in confusion. They watch this ghostly parade. Why is the enemy simply walking in circles? Where are the siege engines and the crimson ladders? The Israelites complete one full lap around the town, completely ignoring the taunts from above. Then, just as quietly as they arrived this morning, they turn away and march back to their desert camp. Day 2 arrives with the blazing morning summer sun. Once again, the procession forms outside the walls. The priests carry the golden ark of the covenant. The soldiers march with terrifying discipline. Another lap is completed in absolute silence. Another day ends without a drop of crimson. Day 3 and 4 follow the same bizarre pattern. The psychological warfare intensifies. The arrogant laughter of the Canaanite soldiers slowly fades into a deep anxiety. This unnatural quietness feels like a heavy curse. It is a suffocating weapon of the mind. By the 5th day, the tension inside Jericho grows. The citizens lock themselves inside their own homes. The guards stand frozen on the mighty defense walls, their hands sweating violently against their bronze spears. They watch the glowing holy ark pass by below, feeling a dark, supernatural dread in their souls. Day 6 concludes. 6 complete circles have now been drawn in the sand around the mighty, ancient stone fortress. The Israelites return to camp. They rest their tired legs, completely trusting in their commander's plan. Joshua sits alone by the flickering campfire. He knows the final test of faith is approaching. He cleans the dust from his heavy armor, preparing his spirit for the violent storm that will awake. The dark night covers the terrified city of Jericho, hiding the prayers of the doomed citizens. Can absolute silence break the minds of a proud enemy before a single deadly weapon is drawn? The crimson dawn of the 7th day violently rips through the thick desert mist, casting giant shadows. This day will be written into the pages of history with immense terror and destruction. Joshua commands his warriors to rise before the sun. The final phase of the divine siege begins. But today, the strange rules of engagement have suddenly changed. The silent march must be completely different. They will not walk a single lazy lap and return. Today, they must march around the city 7 times. The soldiers tighten their heavy belts and firmly grip their deadly bronze weapons with extremely sweaty palms. The priests hoist the holy ark upon their weary shoulders, feeling the crushing weight of their sacred duty. Lap 1 begins. The pace is significantly faster and far more aggressive than the previous 6 days. The guards on the walls notice the sudden, terrifying shift in the enemy's marching rhythm and speed. Lap 2 follows immediately after. The heavy dust kicks up into the sky, choking the hot morning air. The Israelites march like an unstoppable machine. Their weathered faces are locked in grim determination. Lap 3 and 4 blur together in a dizzying dark circle of endless marching and silent suffering. Sweat pours down Joshua's weathered face in the sun. He leads the massive column without showing any fatigue. Lap 5. The sun reaches its absolute summer peak. burning the exhausted warriors beneath their armor. Inside the doomed walls, panic finally erupts. The Canaanite commander screams frantic orders at his men. He demands they shoot their arrows, but their trembling, icy hands can barely hold the tightly drawn, deadly bowstrings. An unnatural, paralyzing fear grips their hearts. They are hopelessly trapped inside a colossal stone cage. Lap 6 is completed. The soldiers are panting heavily, but no one dares to break the strict, holy silence. The air grows very thick and heavy. The entire desert holds its breath in dreadful anticipation. Finally, the 7th lap begins. The furious pace reaches its absolute maximum physical limit. Joshua marches fiercely at the very front. His sharp, dark eyes lock onto the giant stone gates of Jericho. The priests carrying the golden ark endure the agonizing pain, refusing to ever drop the sacred poles. Every single footstep strikes the dry ground like a hammer. The vibrations echo deep into the ancient earth's core. The Canaanite guards watch in wide-eyed, absolute terror. The terrible marching comes to a violent halt. The 7th lap is officially finished. Thousands of desert warriors stand completely motionless in the dust. A dead and heavy silence falls over the valley. It is the absolute quiet, right before the doomsday. Joshua steps forward alone. He slowly draws his bronze sword and points the shadowed, sharp blade straight up to the sky. He turns to face his army. His mighty voice shatters the 7 days of suffocating silence just like thunder.
Shout! For the Lord has given you the ancient city.
His mighty command echoes violently against the stone. Instantly, the 7 priests raise the twisted ram horn trumpets up to their dry and exhausted, cracked desert lips. They blow into the shofars with every ounce of their remaining strength, producing a terrifying final blast. The piercing sound rips through the thick air, drowning out the frantic screams of the terrified enemy guards up above. Simultaneously, tens of thousands of soldiers open their dry mouths and unleash a deafening, mighty roar. It is a massive wave of pure acoustic energy, fueled by decades of brutal suffering and burning faith. The ground beneath their boots suddenly begins to violently shake. A massive seismic anomaly is triggered. Not a single physical weapon has touched the fortress, yet deep, mighty cracks begin to fiercely tear through the stone. The giant lower foundations groan and buckle under the immense pressure of the supernatural earthquake. Thick mud brick towers violently snap in half. The mighty giant walls of Jericho can no longer hold their weight. With a thunderous explosion of dry dust and rubble, the Unconquerable Fortress begins its final collapse. The giant mud brick structures fall forward, crushing the terrified Canaanite soldiers trapped down in the depths below. A massive thick cloud of blinding gray ancient dust suddenly swallows the entire doomed city of Jericho whole. The desperate screams of the fallen guards are completely silenced by the roaring avalanche of shattered stone. The impossible barrier is entirely erased from the ancient desert face of the unforgiving earth. As the heavy gray shadowy dust slowly settles down, a terrifying path of destruction is fully revealed. The silent warriors transform into a vicious wave of unstoppable conquerors, armed with mighty bronze swords. Joshua violently swings his curved, deadly blade, leading his fierce desert warriors over the broken stones. They aggressively swarm into the ruined ancient city, striking down anyone who dares to stand in their way. The mighty Canaanite commander, once arrogant and proud, now crawls desperately through the crimson-shadowed dirt. He finds absolutely no mercy from the hardened nomads who suffered endlessly in the harsh desert wastelands. Devouring flames quickly consume the wealthy houses and towering pagan temples, leaving only dark ashes. The shining golden ark stands victorious in the very center of this devastating and total chaos. It is a profound testament to the unstoppable power of absolute faith over pure physical night. The legendary fortress walls of ancient Jericho were never defeated by any form of human craft. They were utterly shattered by the overwhelming psychological terror of 7 bitter, silent days, and then completely destroyed by an impossible seismic event that defied all known laws of the natural world. The Israelites have taken their very first formidable step into the promised ancient land of milk and honey. The mighty walls of Jericho fell to ashes, marking the crimson beginning of Joshua's ruthless conquest.
Did the ancient walls fall by a sudden natural earthquake?
Or was it pure divine power? Comment down below. If you enjoyed this epic ancient journey, please hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to our channel.